My husband said our 4-year-old was faking food poisoning for attention, even while she was vomiting with a fever. When he got food poisoning, I told him he was clearly faking it, and now he's turned our home into a military wellness camp, where our daughter has to do 5 a.m. exercises and can't have sugar. My husband has never been the sharpest tool in the shed. I know that sounds bad to say about your own husband, but he's done stuff like claim depression and anxiety don't exist, believes that allergies are fake, and the main thing he struggles to understand is the concept of people not feeling well. According to him, when he was a child, nobody ever got sick, and catching a cold is propaganda. To be clear, it's not that he doesn't believe in the flu or colds being real. He believes that when you do catch a cold, you're supposed to go about life like you don't have it instead of resting in bed or drinking tea. I remember the first time I told him my sister was sick. This was when the virus was around and she had a really serious case of it. His genuine advice was for her to go outside and get some fresh air, then go to the gym and exercise to sweat the disease out. And if that doesn't work, convince yourself you don't have it. I laughed because I thought he was joking, but it turns out he was completely serious. A few weeks later, when he found out my sister didn't follow his advice, he became very angry and told me I'm only feeding the narrative that humans aren't resilient beings and are instead delicate daisies who need their hot tea and blankets when sick. He and I had our daughter 4 years ago, and I genuinely believed he would understand that babies do indeed need all the care in the world, but this was not the case. I remember he would let her cry for hours or not feed her sometimes when I was at work to get her acclimated to not eating. His reasoning was that it builds up her tolerance to surviving without food and therefore makes her body stronger in the long run. We had huge arguments about this, and things only got better when I threatened to leave and even press charges for neglectful parenting. He became a bit better at understanding that our child does indeed need food and warm clothes and started providing for her, but one thing he's still never been able to grasp is our daughter getting sick. We had to have a huge fight about her vaccines back in the day. Nowadays, our daughter is a little more grown and can eat more adult foods as time goes on. Well, about a week ago, my daughter had McDonald's for the first time. She had some chicken nuggets and really enjoyed them. The next day, however, she started feeling really ill and came to us in the middle of the night saying she was throwing up. Both my husband and I woke up, and he told me to go help her. I did and stayed with her until she fell back asleep. I came back to bed and woke my husband to talk about it, and his response baffled me. He asked if I was seriously falling for her manipulation. I asked what he meant, and he said, "It's obvious. Our daughter wants attention and wants to skip school. She's learned that by being sick, she'll get attention, and she's now old enough to use things like that to her advantage. She isn't sick, and her doing things like this is your fault." I remember being in utter disbelief and going to bed. The next day, my daughter was still throwing up, so I called in sick to work to care for her, while my husband complained all morning about how she was clearly faking. Even after I literally showed him her vomiting and the fact she had a fever, he still didn't believe me. My daughter thankfully got better after 2 days of this. My husband complained about it the whole time. Thing is, about 3 weeks later, something I never foresaw happened. My husband came down with food poisoning. He was bedridden and throwing up over and over. I remember he asked me to get him some water, and this was where I had my sweet revenge. I told him he was clearly faking it for attention, probably too lazy to go to work and wanted to lay in bed all day and wasn't actually sick. I then told him to get his own water. The look on my husband's face was priceless. That was yesterday, and he's still sick today. I came in this morning to ask if he's done faking, and he did not look happy in the slightest.